Hi, Omina-san. This is Blue Flame Entertainment bringing you Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney, Investigations. Let's get it started. March 14th, 1:16 a.m. Question marks. To make sure the defendant is found guilty, what other choice do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough. But a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. Doesn't that just scare you from the get-go? I am a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. You are a douchebag among prosecutors. March 14th, 2:05 a.m., Prosecutors Building, 12th floor, hallway. It's hard to believe I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? I feel like I'm not doing his voice right. What does this smell? It's very familiar. Blood? Back away! What the? Dead body on the floor! What's the meaning of this? Freeze! Identify yourself. Shut up! You've got some nerve committing murder in the prosecutor's office. Is that a threat? Dot! Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. Dot. Back away slowly, mysterious man. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrust into a multitude of cases, and some very frantic and busy days. March 14th, 2:56 a.m., High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir! Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir! Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Are you okay, sir? I can't get Gumshoe's voice right, I'm sorry. Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran here straight away! This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with the local Pennington. Pennington? I probably cannot pronounce that word correctly. And the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I am perfectly fine. However... Ah! Look what they did to your office! It's totally trashed! I'll say, the culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Whoa! Sounds like you're getting really burned up over this whole thing! This crime was committed in my office, so it's my responsibility to solve it. Ho-ho! That's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that piqued my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? That's a very, very good question, Edgeworth. I get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. It is very important, Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah, I was wondering about that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just coincidence, can you? No, not really, especially because of this. The key to your office. Dun dun dun! What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic. So, how do you use it? First, I recall information through the logic button and then connect them together. Now, to touch the logic button and recall the facts. Logic button. Connect. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks. No shit, Sherlock! Which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir! There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? You're really on a ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Yes, well, when you follow the leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. You like Sherlock Holmes too, don't you, Edgeworth? However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But I think if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir! Begin investigation! The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that, And when I want to examine something, I simply touch the examine button.
Oh, if you ever feel lost and you want to talk, just touch the partner button, okay? I'll give you great precise advice as an ace investigator, sir!
Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here.
I think I've seen one of these before.
Care to enlighten me as to where?
Oh, I know! I was issued the exact same model. ... I think.
Detective.
I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the Benedict a lot, sir. I don't use mine much except for in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it.
So, it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by this Benedict's detectives. Very logical outcome, aren't we? Hey, lassie, I think we got a good... Alright, we're gonna examine the body. They finished photographing the bodies, so it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Alright, we're gonna examine this. What do we have here?
Hey! I think I've seen one of these before.
It's a police badge, detective.
Oh, hey! I have the exact same thing! Like a winky dink!
Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that our victim was a detective just like you. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now, to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. It looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach.
Oh, different character! It looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach, sir.
In other words, he was shot.
Yep. Until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that.
Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime. Crime scene notes jotted in journal.
Are you gonna be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir?
Yeah. Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all.
Alright, if you say so.
I keep all evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have to touch the organizer button. But the organizer isn't only for evidence. I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often.
Your files are all over the floor, sir.
They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer.
Aw, I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, this just rendered all the time and effort I put into it pointless.
I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room.
Well, I watered the flowers every day just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day every Saturday, I'd come in, clean this place until it sparkled.
Does he have a life? Very good question, Edgeworth. Alrighty. And we're going to just go into the logic now. Alright, detective, revolver, connect. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time?
Yes, sir! On it now, sir! Excuse me, pal. Let's see, what have we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir, this guy's wearing a gun holster.
So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Revolver added to my organizer. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver.
As I always say, you gotta look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use the scroll wheels to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Use the slide bar or the X and Y arrows to zoom in and out to get at the nitty gritty.
Yeah. It looks as if only one round was fired from this.
Wow, so the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wresting the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
We have no proof for now, but it is a distinct possibility. I guess this is about all. We should send the body to auto.
Jim! Why, oh why? How could this have happened to a guy like you?
Dots. Are you alright?
Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just leave me be!
Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body.
The body? The body? Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh! Look at him! Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night. Sure. Just in a blood-stained suit, pal. Where are my manners?
Aren't you that prosecutor?
Why, yes. Yes, I am. I'm Jax Portman, prosecutor. Jim here was my partner in crime busting.
I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I am also a prosecutor.
Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir.
So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office. Yes, that is correct.
Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim! Hey, don't go jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not! I know how things work around here. High prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door.
That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could have been in here was me. Oh, Gumshoe, don't say things like that. That's a bad idea. Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then! You're Jim's killer! No way, pal, you got it all wrong!
Everyone calm down! Mr. Portsman, correct? If you are a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to draw conclusions?
Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer, though, Mr. Edgeworth. Dots. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. Well, thanks, bitch. Why would you call me that? You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? Dots. A pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on, then. It's your room, after all. Thank you. I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there! Sir! I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. Dots. I should probably give them some space. No shit, Sherlock. Hi there. I examined you. Ah! Your jacket, sir! What's it doing on the floor? It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round. So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot the ultra special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster! It's not worth getting worked up over, detective. Not when there's something more here. Huh? Like what? I take it you haven't noticed it yet, detective. There is a giant contradiction right in front of us. Really? Did I just say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. Yes, Miles, Phoenix is so rubbing off on you that you are going to be amazing at this. But I have my own methods and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. It would be the lovely bullet hole! This is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I have spotted something that is off, I should touch the deduce button with conviction. And when I have found significant proof, I prove the contradiction. To prove the contradiction, I present how I do things. Bullet! Present! This bullet hole is the contradiction. What? What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim, and the second felled this frame. Hey, that's right! However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true too. Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? By the way, I noticed something, sir. Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? It's a secret safe. A secret safe? Ooh, I smell money. I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move the frame out of the way. Roger that!
happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while.
I had no idea the safe was here, or I'd have kept it clean for you, sir. So, when did you put this thing in?
It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one.
Really? I had no idea.
Yes, a gumshoe. Every prosecutor needs a safe.
What are you not getting about this?
Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence.
So, what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth?
Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when the trial is in session.
That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams.
Secret safe in organizer. There's something suspicious about it, though. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. Right here, gonna examine that. Now this is odd.
You found something, sir?
This keypad, don't you find it to be a bit too clean?
Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself.
You there, the forensic scientist.
Yes, sir!
Could you please dust this area for fingerprints?
You got it, sir!
Dots.
I couldn't find any, let alone lift a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well.
As I thought. As you thought. As we all thought. Look how mysterious it looks. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have. Alrighty, logic. Killer's goal, white fingerprints, connect. I believe I have figured out what the murderer was after.
Well, what is it, sir?
The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. I wonder if knowing this motive behind this break-in was theft changes what other pieces of information can tell me about the crime. All the signs of struggle and theft are connected. It's literally connect the dots, and it's really fun. There is a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer.
Oh? You mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir?
Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelve files like you've never seen before, even at a library.
Sure. Let's give that a try. Why do all the good ones die young?
Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth.
Dots. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. Dots.
And? So what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth?
First, we calmly restore the files to the rightful place.
You got it! Here, let me help! So this file goes here, and that book goes there.
You sure know a lot about where things go, despite being Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Because I'm the one that tidies up, pal! Okay, done!
It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here.
Bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh.
I suspect that the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf.
And then the guy fell to the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kinda grossing me out.
Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now.
Yeah, but you know, I'm no good with blood, sir!
I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture.
Yes, there is! There's a bullet hole near the ground! Nowhere near where the body's blood is! I mean, come on!
We're deducing. That should not be there. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold?
Yeah, crime scene notes.
There is clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole.
What do you mean, sir?
You don't see it? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up.
But what if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir?
That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot.
Then that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir?
It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. And it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole? The order of the files, duh! I believe the order of the files is a bit off.
You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey! Actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir.
Oh?
Yeah! You see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down here after 1, 2, 3? That's really weird.
Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I see them in my mind's eye.
But the numbers are all out of order.
Those white binders are special. They are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Aha! So that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption you just did, detective.
That you guys will get notified every time I go and live stream. How cool is that? So, yeah, I'm back from vacation. I know
I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out.
Do you think it'd be okay to prop the body back up just how it was before it was moved?
They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Fake, and then put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly. And then proceeded to shoot the victim.
But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time?
Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown in disarray twice, once before the crime and once after the crime. Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give it another look.
Oh, this is suspicious.
This!
What is that? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood?
I'd say that's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed.
No, wait, there's gotta be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Help me! Say something, sir! ...
It appears that one of my files was stolen.
Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation?
It is... Is this what the killer was really after? Stolen file in the organizer. Investigation complete.
Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me! You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party.
If you are going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up.
Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say?
If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning.
Oh yeah, we're having a little fun. You got it.
I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. He screams overconfident about the situation, which screams, "You done it!" And there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig it out.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you gonna do?
What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique.
Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir?
Maybe some other time. Mr. Portsman, if you're ready.
You didn't have time, you could have just said so, sir.
Mr. Portman's logic.
Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved to Jim's body that was just sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it will be by his final words, that you be brought to justice.
I see a little bit of a flaw in your logic. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer.
I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for his killer's arrest.
Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portman? There is no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic. And expose it with credible evidence. You will go down, Portsman! More because your stupid logic is stupid. There it is! You are not paying any attention to what's going on, dude! Oh, I love Edgeworth's animations! Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there is a serious flaw in your logic.
Huh? Bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game.
I can't help but find it odd.
Excuse me?
Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office.
What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. Ha ha ha!
If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, I may direct your attention to the missing file.
What? That's impossible! See? He said impossible! You did it! That's why you think it's impossible!
We had 2 people on the crime scene. What's impossible, Mr. Portsman?
Nothing?
The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. when the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they would have missed the bloody letters written on the spine.
Objection!
It's possible that they could have taken the files before committing the murder.
I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters and the detective's name where the file should be is proof.
Yeah, I mean, there's an S is gone and there's only half of an H.
If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit in this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood.
Ah! Which means, what exactly? What does that make this dying message?
It makes this the work of criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. Dot dot dots.
That's so low! I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time.
Well, Mr. Portsman.
Ha 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 ha! Brilliant! Absolutely splendid!
Okay,
Logic deserving of the Olympic gold.
I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed.
Meh. You win some, you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everybody's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. Ah, but you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however.
What's going on?
What is it? Are you still after me, pal?
Humor me for a second.
Who has the key to this office? That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proved I'm innocent, pal. That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence.
Then why do I sense that you still have something to say?
Well, I was thinking, did you know there is one other person with a key to this office?
One other person.
Hey, you there!
Yes, sir! What is it, sir?
Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me?
A lady?
The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No! Stop it, pal! Don't!
What's wrong with him all of a sudden? And of course, look at it! It's Maggie!
I believe she needs no introductions. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bride, a member of security.
Detective Gumshoe, sir? Oh, God.
Maggie!
Dear God. I like her outfit as a security guard. It's a weird security guard outfit, though.
Miss Bride is the security guard on watch tonight.
I see, and your point is... Edgeworth! Get with the program! Security guard would be able to unlock doors.
My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building. What? If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bride.
How dare you! I would never sneak into someone's room.
That's right. I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me! That's right! I did it!
We all know it's not you, dude. Don't even try it.
Can we take that as a confession, Detective?
No, you cannot! We've already proved he's innocent! You can't make faulty confessions out of people, dude!
Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problems with that, right?
Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics.
Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. Not really, but I'm gonna totally throw you away, dude. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime. And for one simple reason.
Yeah, I get your simple reason, but,
It's pretty obvious that Miss Bride snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bride as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message.
So you're saying that she used the master key, tried in an organizer.
Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say?
That's what you claimed about evidence earlier as well.
That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match is always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me.
I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bride who could have used the master key. It seems that the only way to get Mr. Portman to give more details is to press him.
Alrighty. Just like Phoenix, we're gonna press him.
Press. Are you sure Miss Bride is the only member of security who could have used the master key?
There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bride?
That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir! Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time.
Should I hear Miss Bride out? Ask for more details. Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bride has to say.
Didn't I just say that it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies.
I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bride, if you please. I discovered that the master key was missing at 1 a.m., sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you?
I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words.
I'm not lying, sir.
Objection!
If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now.
I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir.
Ha! A likely story. And where is your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again.
I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it.
Yeah, pal, trust me, you don't want to test how bad her luck is.
No, you do not want to test how bad her luck can be. ... Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive.
Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth. But... You still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft?
Add that to your testimony, please. I would love to break you apart because of that one word.
I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe.
It is as Mr. Portman says, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. You go down in flames because that one statement. I love Edgeworth's animations. They're so beautiful. Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bride was set on stealing something?
Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also by your logic that we came to this whole thievery conclusion anyway.
That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe.
the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. Ah! I find it a little hard to believe that a Hinsey was part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted. See, guys? This right here! That little tiny face! That is my clue that he is the killer. It is totally my clue. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then, are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. Your face! Oh, I love this! I love your face. You were going down, dude. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Curses! Why? What made you? What's with the angry face all of a sudden? It's all my fault! What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you just say? We were partners, like inseparable, conjoined twins. That's why I told him I filled him on the info on the secret safes. Then that means... Yeah, I know. If I had only just told him too. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief. And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you, Miss Maggie Bride? Excuse me? Dots. I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. What the? You still accusing Maggie of murder? Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir. Plus, even if he was a thief, he wouldn't have the key to this office, which is precisely why he would have to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Ah! Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything to make sense. Has he no honor? Obviously he doesn't! He's the killer! Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out? You can't kick us out! There's a Mr. Edgeworth's office! Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You're all suspects of varying degrees and therefore eligible to run this show. I don't think Edgeworth is a suspect in any situation of this case. Obviously, he wasn't even in the building at the time of the murder. Much less, I think, in the country. I think he was still at the airport. Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit! Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But sir! We have no choice but to accommodate his request. For now. Aha! Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now, don't disappoint me, you hear? To be continued. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you for joining me for the first part of our investigations walkthrough. I am so glad that I actually made it through this. Oh, God. The recording software was having so many issues. I'm so glad I got it fixed before I actually record the next episode of Ace Attorney instead of just investigations. Anyway, we're going to start down this path. As you guys are going to see, I've tried out my new layout template that's going to be used for a lot of the games coming after this, and especially for Rise from the Ashes, which will have its own little special thing. As soon as we finish Ace Attorney, we'll go on into Justice for All, and I should be starting up Mega Man Star Force within the next couple days, followed by, as soon as I can get everything situated, we're going to do Mega Man Battle Network! Because I love Mega Man and I really want to play the game. I really do. And also, my Yokai Watch 3 sushi version should be in within the next 4 to 5 days, and you guys will hear about that literally. The minute I get the game, it will be posted on the channel and on Twitter, and you guys will see. I will do my best to get that out as fast as possible. Anyway, I'll catch you on the flip side. See you later, everybody.